Hey everyone, I'm a Big Blaze and this is part 2 of Is This Build For You? If you missed part 1, make sure you watch it. In this video I'll show one of my favorite builds, Rive Illigan's Paladin. Despite the few problems with this build, I had so much fun playing it and I hope that in the end of this video you will give it a try. Let's start. The main ability of this build is Rive, so this is a melee build. Personally, I really like melee builds that are fast and potent. The gameplay of this build is pretty simple. Keep 4 stacks of Chisel of Hope, make sure you always attack something to generate ward, and use Holy Aura and Volatile Reversal to increase your damage for a few seconds. The damage of this build is pretty good. It's not insane damage like some other builds, but it is satisfying. The build uses a lot of crit and melee attack speed to cover all the damage that you need. Let's talk about speed farming. This build has a lot of movement speed thanks to the legendary ring and boots that come with an extra movement text. On top of that, we use launch that can cross the whole screen. All in all, this build has pretty fast clearing capabilities. If you want to see the build planner, I'll link it in the description. If pushing corruption is something that you want, this build can do the trick, but it has some few weak points that you must know. This build has a lot of ward, but to generate ward, you have to attack in melee range. Sometimes I had nothing to attack in melee range, but I got hit from a range attack. Just make sure you don't get hit when you are in this situation. The second problem I had with this build is that gearing wise, you must get the prefix +4 on Illigan's for the few missing points in Prayer of the Fallen and Urgent Healing. Without it, I felt like I didn't generate enough ward at the higher corruption levels. Other than that, you should get gear with as much healing effectiveness as you can, melee crit and melee attack speed. In the early endgame, this build doesn't require any specific gear, so you can play without any problem. If you want to level with this build, you can. It may be a struggle at the start, but it can do the job. The build definitely feels a lot better at around level 20. My final score for this build is 7, and this is why. Like I said, I felt like I must get the prefix +4 on Illigan's to really feel the ward generation at a higher corruption. After I failed to craft it on 2 different times on my 2 LP peak of the mountain, I lost a bit interest to try and push corruption. Your experience can look a lot different if you can get this prefix. I hope you do. I'll put my current planner for this build in the description if you want to check it out. If you want to see the full build, you can check the YouTube channel Perry the Pig. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this build. Did you like it? If you like this review, please consider subscribing to my channel. It helps me a lot. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of the video.